Jalen Brunson's basketball journey is not defined by sudden arrival or overwhelming spectacle. It is defined by construction, layer by layer, possession by possession, year by year. His career has been built on an understanding that the game rewards those who learn how to manage it rather than overpower it. In a league fascinated with speed, length, and explosive dominance, Brunson represents something rarer: mastery through balance, leadership through steadiness, and influence through consistency. From the earliest stages of his life, Brunson's relationship with basketball was never abstract. The game was not distant or romanticized. It was present, tangible, and instructional. Growing up around professional basketball shaped his understanding of what the sport demanded. He saw preparation before he saw celebration. He learned that success was less about talent displayed and more about habits sustained. That exposure did not guarantee excellence, but it removed illusion. Basketball was framed as work, not fantasy. As a young player, Brunson did not overwhelm opponents with physical advantages. He was not defined by vertical explosion or imposing size. Instead, he demonstrated something that is far harder to teach: an instinctive sense of order. He understood spacing, timing, and consequence. He played as if each possession carried weight, even when the stakes were low. That seriousness distinguished him early, even if it did not immediately attract attention. At Villanova, Brunson's game found an environment perfectly suited to his temperament. The program emphasized structure, discipline, and collective responsibility. Individual expression was not suppressed, but it was contextualized. Players were expected to understand systems, not improvise around them. For Brunson, this was not a limitation, it was liberation. Within that structure, his intelligence flourished. Brunson became the kind of college player whose value extended beyond numbers. He was the stabilizer, the decision-maker, the presence that settled uncertainty. When pressure arrived, his demeanor did not change. When games tightened, his clarity sharpened. He did not chase moments, he managed them. That quality, more than any statistic, defined his collegiate legacy. Winning championships at Villanova did not inflate Brunson's sense of self. Instead, it reinforced his understanding of accountability. Success was framed as validation of process rather than proof of superiority. That perspective would prove essential as he transitioned to the NBA, where assumptions dissolve quickly and reputations must be rebuilt. When Brunson entered the league, doubts followed him persistently. Scouts questioned his physical profile. Analysts wondered whether his lack of elite athleticism would limit his ceiling. He was labeled reliable but unspectacular, safe but unspecial. These evaluations were not malicious, but they revealed a narrow understanding of value, one that underestimated intellect, adaptability, and composure. In Dallas, Brunson entered a roster defined by hierarchy. He was not asked to lead immediately. He was asked to contribute, to learn, to support. He accepted the role fully. Rather than forcing expansion, he refined efficiency. Each season, his minutes increased because his mistakes decreased. Coaches trusted him because he honored responsibility. What distinguished Brunson during these early NBA years was his comfort operating within chaos. When plays broke down, he did not panic. When defenses collapsed, he did not rush. His footwork became his primary weapon, a series of controlled pivots, hesitations, and angles that neutralized length and athleticism. He turned disadvantage into opportunity by understanding geometry. As his role expanded, Brunson's scoring followed naturally. He was not a volume shooter by instinct, but he recognized when his team required aggression. That adaptability, knowing when to assert and when to facilitate, made him invaluable. He could play alongside stars without shrinking, and he could carry lineups without forcing dominance. Playoff basketball revealed Brunson's true temperament. Against heightened pressure and intensified defense, his game sharpened. He understood that postseason success hinges on decision-making more than explosiveness. His performances were grounded in preparation, not adrenaline. He did not need to elevate emotionally because he was already stable. The decision to move to New York marked a defining inflection point. The expectations were immense. The scrutiny was relentless. The environment demanded leadership immediately. For many players, such a transition would require adjustment. For Brunson, it required assumption. From his earliest games as a Knick, Brunson established authority not through proclamation, but through action. He played through contact. He accepted responsibility late in games. He did not deflect blame after losses or exaggerate success after wins. His consistency became a message. Reliability would define the culture. In New York, Brunson's offensive responsibilities increased significantly. He became the primary engine, tasked with creating advantages against defenses designed to stop him. Rather than resist the challenge, he leaned into preparation. His footwork grew more refined. His patience deepened. He manipulated defenders through tempo rather than speed. What made Brunson exceptional as a lead guard was his understanding of pacing. He knew when to slow possessions to regain control and when to accelerate to exploit vulnerability. That control over rhythm allowed teammates to operate confidently. Players trusted that the ball would arrive where and when it should. Defensively, Brunson continued to compete beyond expectations. Though not physically dominant, he positioned himself intelligently. He absorbed contact. He communicated. His efforts signaled commitment. Leadership, after all, is observed more than announced. As playoff success followed, Brunson's standing in the league evolved. He was no longer an undervalued contributor. He became a reference point, a player whose reliability under pressure made him indispensable. Analysts adjusted narratives. Expectations shifted. The question was no longer whether he belonged, but how far he could lead. What distinguishes Brunson from many contemporary stars is his emotional equilibrium. He does not oscillate dramatically between extremes. He remains grounded in process regardless of outcome. That steadiness has ripple effects. Teams perform better when leaders are predictable in temperament and flexible in approach. Off the court, Brunson embodies similar discipline. He values routine, preparation, and accountability. He understands that leadership extends beyond performance. It shapes culture. Younger players observe his habits. Coaches rely on his communication. His influence extends subtly but persistently. Historically, Brunson fits within a lineage of guards whose greatness emerged through intellect and composure. He belongs among players who understood that basketball is not won through moments alone, but through accumulation of correct decisions, disciplined possessions, and trust earned over time. His career also challenges conventional valuation metrics. He demonstrates that physical limitations can be mitigated by mastery. That explosiveness is not the sole pathway to dominance. That intelligence, when paired with discipline, can shape outcomes consistently. As Brunson's career continues, his legacy is still forming, but its foundation is clear. It is built on responsibility embraced, not avoided. On leadership earned, not assumed. On mastery refined quietly, relentlessly. In an era captivated by acceleration, Brunson understands deceleration. He knows that controlling the game often matters more than overwhelming it. He understands that presence can be as influential as spectacle. Jalen Brunson's journey reminds us that greatness does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it arrives steadily, through consistency, preparation, and accountability, until its presence becomes undeniable. He did not force the game to bend to him. He learned how to navigate it completely. And in doing so, he became indispensable. Jalen Brunson's story is a reminder that control, composure, and responsibility still define excellence at the highest level of basketball. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate long-form sports tributes that explore depth, leadership, and legacy beyond highlights, remember to like, share, and subscribe.